Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you to the lecture series on communicative English. And the topic that we're going to take up today is oral presentation. For the sake of convenience, I'll be dividing this entire interactive session into certain sections. I'll be starting with the basic definition of an oral presentation, and then I'll shift on to the various stages that are involved in making a good oral presentation. So let's start with the definition first of all. One of the very simple definitions of oral presentation, it states that it is a presentation in which an idea is presented orally. It is a participative two-way communication, and it aims to bring about a desired change in the understanding or opinion of people on the topic at hand. So let's discuss these sections one by one. It is a presentation in which an idea is presented orally. So the oral part is pretty clear that we speak, we express ourselves, and we share the ideas on the topic at hand. Now, some of the people say that in an oral presentation, it is a necessity that every time we need to share a new idea. I personally do not agree with this. Reason being that it is not practically possible to discuss a new idea every single time we give a presentation. I can give you an example for this. Let us suppose I decide to give an oral presentation on the topic like corruption in India. Now, it's not humanly possible for me to give or share a new idea every single time I speak. So if at all my topic is related to my own genuine research, then maybe I can do it. I can share new ideas with which other people might not be familiar. But in the absence of genuine research, which will be the case in a majority of the occasions, I will be using ideas that already exist. My arrangement of the ideas, my treatment of the ideas, the total number of examples that I give to explain the idea, that can be different, and that will bring the novelty part to the entire presentation. The second part of the definition stated that it is a participative two-way communication. How is it a participative communication? If I'm giving a presentation, I'm the sender, and people sitting in the audience, they are the receivers. So I'm one party, and all the people in the audience, they are the second party. So both the parties are always involved because I send the message, and my receivers, my listeners, they receive the message, they decode the message, and then they understand the meaning. Next up, it's a two-way communication. How? If the people in the audience, they give positive or negative feedback, two-way communication channel is established. I'm the sender, I send a message, they decode the message, and then they give a feedback. But what if the receivers decide not to give any feedback? So kindly remember one line here, that no feedback is also feedback. So if I'm giving a presentation and my students or people in the audience, they are totally blank, no verbal feedback, no non-verbal feedback, still I get a feedback that they are not interested in listening to me. Maybe they're very tired, maybe the topic is way above their level. So all these things might be there. So two-way channel is always established whenever we talk about oral presentation. Next up, the aims of oral presentation. An oral presentation aims to bring about a change in the understanding or opinion of people on the subject at hand. So the normal example that I give, the common example that I give in the class is that of a chain reaction. Let us assume that you all do not know anything about chain reaction, and I am an expert in the field. So I can give a presentation to improve your understanding of the subject. Now it is hoped that your understanding will improve, but there's no guarantee that it will surely happen. Now there can be multiple reasons why this understanding might not improve. The understanding might not improve because of the reasons which are there at the sender's end. For instance, my knowledge of the subject matter might not be that good. My holdover language might not be that good. I might be extremely tired, so I might not be able to explain things well. There might be a disturbance in the form of a competing stimulus, so the receivers might not be able to understand a thing. or many more such reasons. Likewise, there can be problems at the end of the receivers also. As a receiver, my people in the audience or my audience, it might be very tired. People might be very bored. People might be sitting in very uncomfortable environmental conditions, maybe in an excessive heat wave conditions, or some of them might not be very well, so they might not listen to me, so their understanding might not improve. So it is hoped and aimed that understanding will improve, but there's no guarantee of it. Likewise, the other aim of an oral presentation to bring about a change in the opinion of people. Now, I can give you an example. Let us suppose I decide to give a presentation on euthanasia, that is mercy killing, and then let us assume that you all who are listening to me, sitting at home, you believe that euthanasia should not be there. Mercy killing should not be there. But I believe that euthanasia should be there, especially in a country like India, where it's tough to provide even hospital beds to patients. So, I can try to bring about a change in your opinion, but there's no guarantee that this will happen, right?